When I was in university, I studied chemistry because to me, that was the closest thing to being a little witch on her way to Hogwarts as I could get. And although I loved working in the lab, I hated the toxic chemicals I was working with. I wanted to go a more traditional route, something closer to nature. So I found herbalism. Slowly, I've been foraging my own herbs and building my own little apothecary, creating magical little potions that bring me joy and aren't harmful to the planet. The healing power of nature is something that is being lost in our modern world, so my goal is to share that with you in hopes of fostering a generation of stewards of the forest.
Today we're making a magical healing daisy balm. Daisies have long been known as gardener's friend because they have the amazing ability to help soothe tired, achy muscles and also to help heal up bruises in the same way as arnica. To make your daisy balm, start by gathering a small basket of daisies and drying them out in baskets on a sunny windowsill. When they're completely crisp and dry, usually after about 2 days, pack a small jar and pour over oil. I used a sweet almond oil. You could use jojoba as well. Leave in a sunny space for 3 to 4 days. When your oil is infused, melt 2 grams of beeswax over a double burner and add your oil little by little. You can also add some essential oil. I used clary sage. Give everything one last mix to combine, pour into one of these tiny little jam jars, tap out any air bubbles, top with a daisy, put the lid on and leave to set overnight. And that's your daisy balm done. Rub into achy shoulders or over bruises so they heal up nice and quickly.
Did you know that you can make natural skincare moisturizer using medicinal flowers? During the past summer, we grew and collected loads of medicinal flowers to make natural skincare products. We did a quick infusion of lavender, calendula and chamomile in olive oil for a few hours. We strained the oil and combined it with shea butter and cocoa butter in a double boiler. Once melted, we allowed it to cool down to room temperature and whisked to aerate the moisturizer. Store it in a jar and use it to naturally nourish your skin. Follow for more tips.
If you want your medicine cabinet to look like this, then you're going to want to save this video because I'm about to tell you where I get all of my medicinal plants, herbs, and mushrooms, where I get my jars, and the 5 herbs that I started my journey with as an herbalist. Disclaimer, I work as a clinical herbalist, that's why I have so many medicinal plants, but most people only need about 5 to 10 different herbs to build a solid medicine cabinet. One of those is going to be mullein, which is used to soothe respiratory conditions like coughs and bronchitis, and it provides relief for congestion and inflammation that's associated with colds or asthma. You're also going to want to have lemon balm on hand, which is known for its calming effects on stress, anxiety, and insomnia. It also aids in digestion and it supports the immune system from viruses that produce cold sores. Now, one of my absolute must-haves is dandelion root, which is amazing for liver function, digestion, blood sugar. It has anti-inflammatory properties. This is a super herb in my book. Soursop is another one of my favorites for its anti-cancer properties. It's super rich in antioxidants, which boost the immune system and protects your cells from oxidative damage. And last but definitely not least is red clover, which promotes bone health, hormone health, heart health, and it's packed with tons of essential nutrients. I purchase all of my herbs from either Star West Botanicals, Mountain Rose Herbs, Essential Organics, or local farmers, and I always buy organic. To maximize their shelf life, I like storing them in these airtight glass jars that I get from Fillmore Container, which come with these really nice gold lids that I love.
The number one question I get as an herbalist is, where do I start? And I always tell you guys to start with a book. Here are my top books for beginners. I went through my collection and I narrowed it down to these 4 to make it nice and simple for you. So let's dive in. Back to Eden, which is a classic guide. In here you're getting so many, she's thick. So in here you're getting information about various ailments and how to treat them, various herbs and their uses and their contraindications. Also getting information about farming and gardening and various preparations like tinctures and infusions, how to make syrups and herbal salves. And so this is a great starter point for someone who has never learned anything about herbalism. Just go ahead and get this. We have the Way of Herbs, which I have used a lot in the beginning stages of my journey. And for similar reasons to Back to Eden, you're getting a good breakdown of herbs. It goes into kitchen herbs, the diet that we need, the various herbal tastes, etc. And in the back, we have even some formulation. So the Way of Herbs is a great starting point. Rosemary Gladstar's Medicinal Herbs. This is a ultimate beginner starting guide. I think it's great because it gives you a lot of pictures, and we love pictures, especially beginning. We just want to see how things look. So this book is extremely colorful and beautiful, and it's easy to understand. Rosemary Gladstar is a super well-respected herbalist in the game, and so I recommend any of her beginner books. Lastly, we have the Modern Herbal Dispensatory. This is a medicine making guide. I think this is a little bit more advanced, but I think it's great to have on hand if you're ready to start making some medicine. It talks about the various tastes of herbs and how to prepare them. And in the back, it gives you, again, another breakdown of individual herbs, their Latin name, their contraindications, who shouldn't be using these herbs. We really have to make sure that we're educated before we even start to make medicine for people. And so it's important to have books like this that are a little more advanced, so we get the full rundown on the herbs. It even gives you formulas on how to work with alcohol and how to dilute alcohol, and so there's a lot of information in this book. I hope this was helpful. I think adding these 4 books to your herbal collection as you begin is a good starting point before you even go take a course or before you even start to dive in. Get these books, see if you like herbalism, see if you're ready, and I hope this was helpful.
A lot of you are obsessed with this book because of all the pretty pictures of the herbs, and that is why I bought it. It was actually one of my first herbal books. Let's talk about it. It's called Essential Herbs by Neil's Yard Remedies, and like any other book, it's got its strengths and weaknesses. This is honestly a book that would be best suited for people who already have a little bit of herbal knowledge under their belt. Each plant description does list the properties and a little bit of the phytochemistry, but if you don't know what these things mean, you're not going to get much use out of it. You could always Google, and it does have these charts with remedies for different ailments, which is really cool. I just posted a video with my list of herbs that might be a little better for beginners, so go check that out.
This is homemade calendula oil. It's an infused oil that I made using dried flowers and a carrier oil. Calendula oil soothes inflamed skin, making it a wonderful ingredient for salves, lotions, and creams. There are also 3 ways that you can make it: an easy way, a quick way, and a potent method. I share how to make them all in my latest YouTube video.
Kitchen medicine is one of my favorite parts of herbalism. Herbalism doesn't need to be this complex, complicated thing, especially if you're just starting out. This remedy is so simple to make and such a powerful medicine to have when you need it. This is fermented garlic honey. All you need is your jar, garlic, and preferably raw honey. Add your peeled and smashed garlic to your jar, pour in your honey to the neck, screw on a lid, and burp it the first 2 weeks, and then it'll be ready between 4 to 6 weeks. Make sure to date your jar, and it is simple as that.
You are a beginner herbalist. I have the #1 thing that you should learn first. Because if you know how to do this one thing, which I guarantee you already know how to do, you can make over 6 different kinds of herbal medicine and herbal remedies right now. And this allows you to get started without the overwhelm, without spending a bunch of money, and without the self-doubt. Okay, so this one thing is understanding teas and infusions. So we all know what a tea is, right? An infusion is the exact same thing, except you're going to use more herbs, you're going to steep for longer, and you're going to cover the top with a lid or a towel or something to keep the steam in. Because when you do this, your tea becomes a medicinal strength infusion. And once you learn how to make an infusion, you can make over 6 different kinds of other herbal remedies. And then you're off to the races with your herbalism journey. If you're someone who likes more specifics and more measurements, I recommend checking out my book, Beginner Herbalism Made Easy. You can get it on Amazon and Kindle and paperback. And in this book, I teach you 20 herbs that you can find at your grocery store, give you instructions for 10 different kinds of herbal remedies you can make with those herbs, as well as other ingredients from your grocery store like honey, vinegar, lemon, and more. Let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite kind of tea to make?
If you were a wealthy lady in 18th century France, the status symbol you wanted to get your hands on was jasmine perfume. The delicate aroma of jasmine flowers can only be extracted through the tedious process of enfleurage, which takes 30 to 60 days of hard work. Fresh flowers are gently pressed into a frame lined with animal fat. In my case, I'm using shea butter instead, and then left overnight. The next day, the flowers are removed and fresh flowers need to be picked and placed on the fat. The process is typically repeated for 30 or more days until the desired scent strength is achieved. Then you have what is called a pomade, which can be used as is to make lotions or further extracted with alcohol to achieve a final concentrated scent.
Here's 3 quick and easy home remedies to help keep those colds at bay this winter. Number 1 is super simple: garlic and honey. Both garlic and honey have been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years, and once combined and fermented, they create an immune powerhouse. Simply peel the garlic cloves and pour over the raw honey, and in about 4 weeks it should be ready to go. Number 2 is a favourite of mine: fire cider. Fire cider is a powerful home remedy that definitely packs a punch. It's a concoction consisting of several potent ingredients, such as garlic, ginger, turmeric, lemon, chili, and many others. These are chopped and then added to a large jar and covered with a base of raw apple cider vinegar. I let that sit for around 4 weeks and then strain out the liquid and pop it in the fridge until needed. And last but not least, elderberry syrup. Elderberries have been traditionally used to relieve fevers, colds and flu symptoms, and although they can't be eaten raw, once they're ripe they can be picked and cooked, and then they're perfectly safe to consume. I add ginger and cinnamon whilst cooking, and then strain the liquid and add the raw honey. Then just bottle up and store until needed.
This is a dream cake, not just because it tastes dreamy. It's made with a herb called mugwort, which the Saxons used for dream ceremonies. It was believed that consuming or inhaling mugwort could induce vivid and lucid dreams, where one could experience prophetic visions and deepen one's connection to the dream realm. Nowadays, mugwort is used as an ingredient in rice cakes and sweet dumplings in East Asian baking. It lends a slightly bitter, aromatic flavour similar to matcha, and it works perfectly in this fluffy lemon loaf with rosewater icing.
Why should I bathe in tea instead of a bath bomb? That's a question I get a lot. I personally stopped using bath bombs years before I started Enoki Bathhouse. The ingredients in bath bombs always made my skin feel itchy. I didn't like the idea of bathing in so many chemicals, and the artificial fragrances were always overpowering. I started bathing in tea because I reminisced of bathhouses that I visited when I was in Asia. Bathhouses that used ingredients that made my skin feel so nourished, and it smelled like an absolute dream. What you put on your skin matters, and what you soak in also matters. Tea baths are packed with antioxidants, minerals, and vitamins that protect and nourish the skin. I do want to say not all tea baths are made the same, but I highly recommend it to anyone to try.
I studied and researched over 100 medicinal plants, from traditional Chinese medicine to Western herbalism and Ayurveda, and I have all of them right here. And I was thinking about how when I first started studying herbal medicine, I wanted to know so bad what other herbalists had on their shelves. And I thought to myself, and I said, maybe I should start a series where I go over every single herb that's on my medicine shelf, and I talk about the herbal actions, when and how to use them, and go over contraindications and precautions that you should know about. But here's the thing, this is where I need your help. I can call it Medicinal Mondays and talk about one herb every single week, but like I said, I have over 100 herbs, which means it's gonna take me over 100 weeks to get through all of them, and that's more than 2 years. Or I could challenge myself to post every single day around the same time and call it Herbal Hour. That one's gonna take me just over 100 days to get through, which is just over 3 months. But what if I can't post every single day? I don't wanna keep you guys waiting. So I really don't know which one of the two would be a better idea. You guys let me know.
Celtic folklore suggests that drinking this cleaver infusion every day for 9 weeks will make you so beautiful that everybody will fall in love with you. Cleavers are arguably one of the most important and effective lymphatic tonic herbs in the world, meaning they help to flush out toxins, decreasing congestion and reducing swelling. They're also great for the immune system and are currently being studied on their ability to inhibit cancer cell growth. Topically, they may help to combat eczema and psoriasis. Cleavers have an extensive global presence and can be found abundantly for most of the year. It's also known as goosegrass, as it is the favourite food of geese. It has many other names, including sticky willy, gripgrass and sticking bob. This is such a simple yet nutritious recipe. All you will need to do is collect your cleavers, wash them, chop them, and then put them in water. Then pop in the fridge overnight, strain and drink. Enjoy!